Good morning, everybody. I am Eureka John, and you are at Eureka Street Creative Podcast. And I'm live on YouTube, and it is November 7th, 2023 at 5:38 in the morning. We just had daylight savings time here in Austin, Texas. And I'm broadcasting from Leander, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin. Yes, it is just nothing special. I mean, well, I think it's special because it's, where I live. But it basically looks like every other suburb USA, it seems. Your Best Buys, your McDonald's, your freeway interchanges, and all that type of stuff that runs the homogeny of American corporate culture. But we find a way to call everything home and to make everything unique, and that is part of our human nature, I believe. Anyway, this podcast has been going since October 24th, 2020. This is episode number 502. For a while, a couple years straight, actually, I did this every single day. But then I kind of got burnt out, and some technological stuff was starting to fail on me. I was having bandwidth issues, computer issues, and I just got tired of it all, really. And I've been doing it to where I record it before, and then editing it and then putting it back up on there. But here I am experimenting with going live again, and just like making my mistakes live. And I think that's an important part of the process, is to do things live and to make mistakes publicly and let people see the process. But I started out a long time ago on YouTube, but also on like Theta TV, and I was trying to go decentralized and to try to incorporate crypto, Web3 technologies. It wasn't called Web3 back then. It was just called crypto. And since then, people are like, don't use the word crypto, because we kind of got tired of being associated with all the shills and, all the Lambo, Wind Moon projects and all that type of stuff. When really, I literally am in it for the tech. And I've said it before on my broadcasts, like, this is my brain dump. This is my, where I just like, all the crypto Twitter crap that goes on my feed, the stuff that I find interesting, I create bookmarks for, and I save it, and then I talk about it on the show. So it's a brain dump of stuff I've learned, or articles I've read, ideas I've come across in the DAOs and all that stuff. And then it is my sandbox where I play around with different crypto technologies. I'll learn how to bridge to new chains. I learned how to bridge to the base chain, the Coinbase blockchain, just this morning. I learned how to bridge to, the PGN chain, I think it's called. It's the Gitcoin chain, in which you create a Gitcoin profile, and you're able to donate to all the Gitcoin grants type of stuff. And they use a chain called I think it's called the PGN chain. Hold on, let me open up my MetaMask here and take a look. PGN chain. So they use that for donations, and it's because like the Ethereum network, as popular as it is, the gas is high, and gas is what you use in order to pay to be able to use a network. And that's basically what keeps networks secure, is the idea of gas. And it keeps DDoS attacks, which are just when bots run just tons of hits on a network in order to clog up a network. If it costs them money, they won't do it. So that's basically what gas was really developed to do, and to prevent those types of attacks originally. So that's why the whole concept of gas. Anyway, back to the point is the Gitcoin uses the PGN network, and I was like, oh, that's a new one. So let's go over here to, I used to start, and then this is my message in a bottle. This is a way in which, when I first started, I didn't know anybody in the crypto space, in the Web3 space. It was just me talking to my video camera, because nobody in my family or friends knew anything about crypto or Web3. And it was just kind of like, I felt like one of those vegan CrossFit multi-level marketing type of people that won't shut up about their, their projects, and everybody else who doesn't like get it. I'm not saying that what the Web3 is like, multi-level marketing type of stuff. It's not. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I haven't really made any money off of this. I'm not making any money off of it currently, for sure. But a lot of people don't get it, and so this is my way of just being able to reach out and find other people who think and talk about this type of technology as much as I do. So, and it's worked because I've developed an entire community of people around it, and I've met a lot of those people in real life, just most recently at Permissionless 2023 here in Austin, which was really cool. So let's see here. Let's go over to my old tweeter, and let's pull that up and see what's going on. Okay, I bookmarked this quote by David Phelps. He's a writer. He goes by Divine Economy. It's wild people think crypto is just a way for people to get rich, when we've actually invented the greatest technology of all time for rich people to get poor. That's really what crypto is supposed to be about, and what Web3 is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be people taking back control of their digital identity and their information and everything that they put online. And there have been people who have gotten insanely rich off of us, including the guy's name is slipping me right now. The founder of Twitter. Oh man. Oh, you're probably thinking about it and you're being like, dude. It'll come to me later today. And then, of course, Mark Zuckerberg off of Facebook, and multitudes of other people who have collected the people off of Amazon, and eBay, and all these people just collecting our data and using it to market to us, using it against us. What if we could have control over that data, and to be able to take all that data with us, whatever platform we use? And that's the beauty of what Web3 is really trying to do, and what David Phelps is saying. We've actually invented the greatest technology of all time for rich people to get poor, because then people won't be able to capitalize off of your data. Like the whole idea of private property, we take it for granted. Actually, there's a movement going on, from the World Economic Forum to try to take that private property away from us, and that's what communism has always tried to do over the past few centuries. Any movement that tries to take away private property from people in order to socialize it has always ended up in massacres and failure and stuff like that. Well, now we have this idea of now our world is going into the digital world. And the metaverse is being lowered upon us. All our bills are now being paid online. We pay by credit card for everything. It's not very often that we really handle cash, if you think about it. When's the last time you've really handled a cash? Like maybe at night at a bar, and I don't drink anymore. I haven't drinking in like 4 years, so I haven't even been to a bar in ages. When else do I handle cash? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have some bills sitting in my wallet, but I don't. These bills have been sitting here for quite a while, because most of the transactions that I do are with my debit card. At the grocery store, when I pay my electric bill, my water bill, my phone bill, everything is done by my debit or credit card account number saved on there. And so that, in a way, is my participation in the metaverse. And all that has to go through some kind of centralized entity that all along the way is collecting my data and then saying yes or no, giving a green or red light on whether or not I have the funds in my account to do so. So what happens when all that data starts connecting it together with every single other thing that you use on the internet? And we see this happening now with our Google IDs, and being able to connect our Google account to every single thing to be able to log in. Well, that's really, if you don't know the whole idea about why a lot of people in the early 90s and late 80s, and I guess early in the 90s, like hated Bill Gates. Like, why do you hate Bill Gates? It was because he wanted to make Microsoft like one of those things where you have to pay in order to use the OS of Windows, and create this system where you have to log in and kind of pay as you go. And you have to, because people use Linux and stuff like that. Those are open source programs. Anybody can use them and develop on them and everything like that. Well, he created Windows where you have to buy Windows. And he wanted to eliminate all open source software, and people weren't having it. And so a lot of those concepts are starting to come through in the internet. It's still free in a lot of ways, but you have your Google Pass, but all that data is being collected about you and being funneled through corporations and people getting rich off of all your footprints on the internet. So Web3 is one of those ways in which you can own that data. So your footprint on the digital landscape is now, there's a way to make it your private property. Back in the, I guess, when was the Magna Carta signed? The Magna Carta gave people the right to private property and land ownership and things like that. It's weird because we take it for granted. Land ownership is like, a lot of people own land or houses, but a lot of people in the generation X, Y, Z, was it Generation Z? They're not really looking forward to being able to own homes, and so now we're starting to think about this again. Like, the private property is a right, not a privilege, and we also need to be able to own our digital property. And that should be a right and not a privilege. And people shouldn't be able to just capitalize and make money off of us without our permission from our digital footprint. So that really, to me, is what Web3 is all about. All these people that have been, and back to the David Phelps quote, when we've actually invented I think it's wild that crypto think is just that people, I think, no, okay, sorry, let me start over. He says, it's wild people think crypto is just a way for rich people to get rich when we've actually invented the greatest technology of all time for rich people to get poor. So all these people that have been making money off of us, all these rich people, will suddenly not have that way to make it if we can own our own data. And so there's apps that are coming out, like Farcaster, and there's this war going on, between centralization and decentralization right now. And there are apps now like decentralized social media, like Lens Protocol, Farcaster, and they use the Warpcaster social media. There's decentralized ID protocols like Disco and Bright ID, Orange Protocol, that are ways for people to be able to own their own data. And so, and at the same time, we have things coming out of, AI jumping in and becoming involved and creating this like Moloch, this automated structure that people can't get around, that creates protocols for itself in order to own all your data and to use it for you or against you. But there's things like fetch AI, and there's AI agents. They say we believe AI agents will reinvent the way we live and work. AI agents can connect, search, and transact to form dynamic marketplaces, changing how economic activity takes place in the world. So picture this: there's all these bots and agents everywhere in the world, through video cameras and parking garages, maybe measuring the amount of open parking spaces there are. And if you're part of the Fetch AI network, you get to be directed and say, I need to go to the downtown library. And so the Fetch AI agents will automate and evaluate your best route to get there. And if you follow that recommended route, you can earn the Fetch token and all that stuff. And by being a good little optimal person, you can earn currency, the Fetch token in this case, right? or say maybe it's a US dollar, right? And if you follow and you're a good citizen, you will earn tokens, and then if you don't follow it, you won't earn tokens, or in worst case scenario, say you get penalized, right? And that's the whole idea of somebody else owning your data and tracking and tracing and surveilling you. Is it can be a double-edged sword. You can either own your data or it can be used against you, and that's the kind of that's the back and forth that we're seeing with decentralization fighting centralization, and it's a constant push and pull. Does everything need to be decentralized? I don't think so, because sometimes some things just can't get done without any form of centralized leadership, as I've seen happen in DAOs. Let's go over here to this article here on Mirror Protocol. This is also a decentralized blogging engine, Mirror. So there's Mirror and there's Paragraph and there's a few others. But this one, similar. The AI agent economy is coming. It will run on smart accounts. This is a pretty interesting article. I read this and then I immediately thought, well, I've been already talking about all this stuff since like 2020 by talking about Fetch AI. But I guess they kind of explain it a little more clear here. He said the new AI agent economy will run on smart accounts. Web3's first billion users may not only be humans, but AI agents. So yeah, we think, when will the masses come in to use Web3, where everybody constantly in crypto is saying, we're waiting for the masses. We're waiting for the masses. Then our tokens will moon and we'll all become rich. Not really, according to this article, it's going to be AI that's going to come in and start using it, and as token owners, are we really going to become rich off of that? Will there even be the concept of being rich if we don't own any private property in the future through centralization? So that's why it's imperative that we learn to at least navigate this Web3 system to figure out different ways in which we can decentralize ourselves from a lot of this AI-driven, corporate, technocracy-driven information gathering that is being thrust upon us. So anyway, Web3's first billion users may not only be humans, but be AI agents. Data from September and October 2023 show that more than half of all safe transactions on Gnosis chain are currently made by AI agents. Now, if you don't know what safe is, safe, aka Gnosis, the former name for it, is a multi-sig wallet. And what I mean by multi-sig is you have a wallet online that holds your tokens. You have a seed phrase to be able to access that wallet. Well, a multi-sig wallet is when there's several people that are authorized to use that particular wallet online. And, we hold in our DAOs and then Crypto Sapiens project, we have a shared treasury. And there are multi-sig key holders. I'm one of them, to be able to make payment disbursements. And there are several holders that are authorized on that account and people that hold the key for that. So in order to run a transaction, you have to have, let's say, 3 of 5 of those multi-sig holders sign a transaction in order for a transaction to be able to go through, in order to be able to make payments to everybody and do the payout. So it's kind of a more democratic way to run a treasury and a payout department. So if you're running something like a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, you can automate a lot of that stuff. So, now they're saying a lot of these safe wallets these transactions are made by AI agents, which is interesting when you think of the Fetch protocol and you think of like these bots and the cameras watching you in order to be able to optimize your route. And if you take that optimized route, you get some of those Fetch tokens. Well, a lot of those transactions would be made by the AI built into those information gathering devices like temperatures, readers, cameras, all that type of stuff would have those agents in them. And they would pass that information from device to device. And in that passing of information, there's a transaction, right? And so that would be made through some kind of smart account. And then if any of those were to give you credits, there's a transaction, and then that would be made through a smart account. So I think that's what that's kind of talking about. So anyway, yeah, so The data from September and October shows that more than half of all safe transactions on Gnosis chain are currently made by AI agents. This signals a nascent but growing agent economy. An on-chain economy run solely by AI agents that is turning the crypto AI dream into a reality. So on-chain autonomous services. What are autonomous services? They come in many forms and increasingly rely on and interact with each other to create their own self-sustaining and self-referencing economies. In Web3, some of the autonomous services that are in demand include automation, relayers, oracles, and messaging. So you have bots messaging information back and forth to other bots. So say you have a bot that is measuring weather patterns, right? And that bot is measuring barometer and pressure. And then you have another bot that is a bot for an insurance agency adjuster. So one bot measuring weather patterns will be able to, so you have the barometer bot sending that information over to another weather pattern bot, and then there's a transaction there. So one bot pays another bot for the information that it gathered. All right. Then you have the weather pattern bot send that information. Say there's a hurricane, that sends that information to an insurance adjuster bot. And so the insurance adjuster bot is paying for that information from the weather pattern bot, right? And so there's a bunch of little transactions that are going on, and each bot pays using the token of the blockchain that information is gathered on. And all these different bots are paying for that information, and there's basically like a little self-sustaining sub-economy going on there. So this article calls it their own self-sustaining and self-referencing economies. So in Web3, some of those autonomous services that are in demand is automation, relayers, oracles, and messaging. So autonomous services are essential for enhancing the Web3 user experience, enabling features like account abstraction. While these advantages are poised to attract new users to a space, there's one type of autonomous services that is inevitable: AI agents. So behind Web3's ultimate DAUs, AI agents. Already, I don't remember what DAU is. Anyway, whatever. Already today, over 4% of all safe transactions on Gnosis chain originate from OLAS network autonomous services, the majority coming from AI agents. I'll have to look up and see what OLAS is in a second. Autonomous services built using OLAS's open source framework have distinct crypto native capabilities. They are based on advanced autonomous agent technology, co-ownable via a safe. Each service is made up of one or more software agents, each operated by an agent operator. While these agents run off-chain and can retrieve data from anywhere, they are represented on-chain by a safe smart account. Through a safe, the service can, among other things, hold assets, pay for transactions, interact with on-chain apps. Safe's multi-sig functionality helps multiple agents to co-own the autonomous service across multiple chains, including Ethereum, Polygon, and Gnosis chain. Gnosis chain, you can... so a safe account can use Ethereum, Polygon, and Gnosis. And there's a bunch of other different types of multi-sig accounts on different chains as well. But yeah, right now we're just talking about safe. So here's a Lucas Shore. He is actually one of the guests on Crypto Sapiens at one point. We interviewed him. Oh shoot, what I just went to that. Okay, so we'll go to that Twitter post. So he says AI agents won't be using EOAs. They will require the programmability and safeguards enabled by smart contracts. Already now, more than half of all safe transactions on Gnosis chain are made by AI agents. So all that was doing was just referencing his tweet. All right, so smart accounts are critical infrastructure for the agent economy, as agents will not be using EOAs or externally owned accounts. All right, so there won't be any permissions by a human being, is what that's saying, by using EOAs. So it won't have to have you sign off on it. The AI agents will be able to sign off on their own transactions. Instead, it will be Safe's account programmability and customizable logic that will allow the infinite off-chain activity of AI agents to be fully leveraged in the on-chain economy. Furthermore, Safe's smart account infrastructure allows specific on-chain rules and actions to be defined on a granular level and are absolutely necessary for software agents to reach their full Web3 potential, be it for basic autonomous services or entire AI agents. Multi-sig configurability, decentralized autonomous services. Safe's multi-sig feature allows for agents to be co-owned by autonomous services. So what that means basically is these AI bots are going to be able to make their own transactions back and forth with each other without having to have any type of human intervention. So let's in a safe multi-sig account controlled by autonomous service of multiple agent signers, fault tolerance and decentralization among agents can be configurable according to the service requirements. However, such security may not always be required. For example, prediction agents, which are intended to be managed by individual users, employ a basic one-of-one multi-sig. So it doesn't need 3 of 5 or 4 of 7 in order for a transaction to go through. You can set up a multi-sig when it's just one-to-one. This also enables progressive decentralization of autonomous services, as developers can build autonomous service with just one agent, then scale it to multiple agents when ready. There's transaction guards. There's all these features. AI agent-powered funds instance guards could restrict the actions of agents so that they could only alter the fund's allocations, thus protecting the assets in the fund through on-chain means. Here's several use cases. Autonomous trading. It allows different AI agents. So, okay, imagine if you're a trader. There's stock traders, there's crypto traders, there's people that make lots of money and a living off of doing that. People ask me, do I trade? No, I don't trade. I don't have the mental capacity or even like the emotional capacity to sit there and try to keep up with everything that's going on in the market in order to be able to arbitrage and day trade and all that stuff. It's just too stressful for me. But there are people that do it very well. And to me, a lot of people say, "Oh, you're going to get rich." Well, no, you're not going to get rich doing crypto trading. You are not going to get rich doing crypto trading. Okay. Like, there are people that spend every waking hour of the day doing that. There are people that develop bots to do that, and they control those bots, right? And so that's like saying you're going to become a pro baseball player. Probably not. Okay. And, but yes, there are some people that do. All right. But I'm not going to jump into the crypto market and just say, yeah, I'm going to get rich trading crypto, because there are a lot of people that say that. So probabilities are that I'm not going to. And I don't really have the desire to either. But I'm just saying. Okay. Just putting it out there. But some people are developing these bots to automate a lot of this trading and arbitrage process. Well, imagine now it's not just people developing these bots, it's AI developing these bots in order to be able to trade back and forth. And, BlackRock and a lot of these Vanguard and a lot of these large companies already have AI doing a lot of their stock trading and reading the market, using prediction bots and all that type of stuff in order to automatically trade. Now imagine if AI was doing it and gathering tons and tons and tons and tons of data, more data than is humanly readable, and being able to aggregate all that data and then being able to make and program its own bots to do its own day trading. That bot would become immensely rich and powerful. And those bots do exist. So, and here is what it's saying here. This is basically what it's talking about. These are AI agents performing and transforming prediction markets. For example, the Omen platform, 3 types of agents: the market creator agent, the AI mech, and the trader agent work together to create, analyze, and trade markets. What arises is a network of agents allowing for AI-based prediction markets that can inform market research, political forecasting, trading, and much more. Okay, so yeah, the most powerful political people and the most powerful traders out there and corporations are using bots in order to inform their market research and their decisions. Well, what if they're no longer making the decisions? What if people aren't making those decisions? What if it's AI bots making those decisions? And what if, I don't know, it's just a lot of power to be given to a bot, in my opinion. But, I don't know. I'm just kind of just reading this stuff here. So, impact evaluation. OLOS contributes, serving as an OLOS DAO coordination tool, employs autonomous services to AIify DAO's operations. So that's kind of cool. But, there's a post, what was it? It's in my notifications. And I interviewed Donnie at Permissionless, and Donnie runs the Don't Say NFT thing. And here's a little clip from him that I made, a little videogram. So let's listen to this real quick.
Some people think lions shouldn't eat gazelles. I think lions would beg to differ. They need to eat, but I don't like watching it, so I think it's wrong. Something can't be both right and wrong, and I think everything is to someone. So what is objective truth? Some people think lions shouldn't eat gazelles. I think lions would beg to differ. They need to eat, but I don't like watching it, so I think it's wrong. Something can't be both right and wrong, and I think everything is to someone. So what is objective truth? Using blockchain technology, we have the ability to maybe come the closest we ever have to what an ethical, moral, objective framework might look like, simply by aggregating the thoughts and speeches and data that every human has ever said. You know, there's what he said and what she said, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth, right? So if you aggregate 8 billion voices over and over again every 40 years when there's a new 8 billion people on the planet, you might actually come to what would be considered the closest we could get to an objective moral framework.
So if you had what he said and what she said both on the blockchain as objective evidence out there,
that they said it,
and then it becomes both yes and no, both black and white.
Right.
You know, you have positive
and maybe
negative.
The answer is always maybe.
Yin and yang, just like cycling.
I know, it's crazy, right?
There you go. That's Bitcoin for you. That's blockchain technology.
Okay, so there was Donnie sitting there saying that, you know, if the blockchain could record every single human action and all that type of stuff, and it could record it from multiple perspectives. You know, say you had 2 different cameras looking at the same incident. You know, you would obviously have 2 different viewpoints and 2 different information sources, and 2 takes on the same circumstance, right? So you could always, you could, with all that information, obviously it's not human readable, right? Humans are not able to process that much information, but AI agents can. So if you have multiple versions of the same information online and on the blockchain, you know, so it's uneditable and unalterable, then you could have various versions of the same circumstance, and you could be able to aggregate and average and hone that down to what is really true. You know, what did he say? What did she say? Is it black and white? No, it's not black and white. It's everything's gray. There is no yes, there is no no. There is, you know, there is no positive, there is no negative, there is no 1 or 0. Everything operates in the gray space. Is that good? Yeah, sure. You know, it's cool. You could, like he's saying, form some kind of moral framework around what is good. So Humpty said, this sounds like open data and AI coming together to become the source of truth based on the aggregate knowledge of generations before it. Probably also a good idea for why not everything should be on chain. So is that going to become like the new form of subversion, to be able to do something that is not on chain and recorded, to be able to do something outside of the system, to be able to operate outside of the blockchain AI economy? Is that new subversion? You know, that to do things off the grid, you know? So that's really the question it raises there, you know, because to me, Moloch is like somebody saying, I'm just doing my job. Like the Nazi officer running the death camps in the gas chambers. I'm just doing my job, you know. That's nothing personal. That's Moloch right there. So imagine if you completely took humans out of the equation and you just have AI running the system that is called Moloch. And the AI is just doing its job, and you, as a person, don't even register as a person. You are just bits of data that can be processed and eliminated, or whatever it needs to happen, you know. And it's just doing its job. So learning to operate off-chain might be a good idea in the future. I don't know. And Donnie says, it's a great point. Objective moral frameworks sounds ideally nice, but also flies a bit too close to the sun for me. Thoughts and viewpoints are always in progress. So what if, you know, an objective moral framework was based off of generations of data collecting? and then processed via AI. And then the objective moral framework could be determined by the average and the majority of different outcomes. Well, part of our human nature is that we are outliers. Every person is an individual and yes, we are also a product of predictability and averages, but every single person has their own quirks and outlier behaviors and personalities. So that doesn't really work. So Moloch is kind of the antithesis of human individuality. And I said, yes, but for real, combined with AI, this could be a dangerous mix for Moloch on roid rage. So basically, AI gives Moloch this basically mundane system of gears and cogs that don't recognize humanity, but only rules, processes, and procedures. And you give AI that you give that Moloch AI capability, you have a recipe for systemic slavery right there. Oh, man. Anyway, I've been going for 39 minutes and 30 seconds. I will cut it off here. I did have a couple people jump on the stream, it looks like. So, yeah, whatever. Cool. It's my first attempt at streaming again, and we'll see how it goes. I'll just check out the recording, and if everything went well, I will upload it. You can find me at Twitter at EurekaJohn1. So it's not just Eureka John at Eureka John, because I don't know who got that a long time ago, but somebody got that handle. So it's Eureka John and then the number 1. You can also find me at Discord at Eureka John. You could email me at eurekastreetcreative@gmail.com. And sometimes getting an email is actually an easier way to communicate nowadays, because you just get so much spam coming through the other channels. Anyway, and then you can find me on Farcaster, like Warpcast. You can find me on post.tech, Eureka John, all of it, Eureka John. All right, man. I will talk to you guys later on, hopefully tomorrow, actually. And we'll see, how this live streaming stuff goes. All right, later.